This is the third of 3 lessons on grid navigation. We will start by reminding ourselves about grid convergence and then go on to the solution of grid problems. A gridded chart is invariably used in polar regions. In both the North and South polar areas, the common plotting charts are polar stereographics or transverse or oblique Mercator's. On all of these charts, the 360 degrees of longitude on Earth are represented by 360 degrees on the chart. This property makes these charts ideally suited for the use of a standard polar grid, which can be printed on the charts for all users. The Greenwich meridian is usually used as the datum meridian. This is a polar stereographic chart, and the grid track from A to B is 090 degrees. We're going to work out the relationship between true and grid track at various points. In order to do that, we'll need to use the east, west, west, east rule. Position A is at 70 west. As the datum is Greenwich, this is west of the datum, in the northern hemisphere. This is easterly convergence. Convergence east, true least. The true track will be smaller than grid by 70 degrees. 090 grid minus 70 degrees gives us a true track of 020. We now continue a long track until we reach longitude 45 west. Again, we are west of the datum. Convergence east, true least. The true track will be 45 degrees less than the grid. 090 grid minus 45 degrees gives us a true track of 045. As we pass the datum meridian, the true and grid tracks are the same. As we get to 45 east, we are now east of the datum in the northern hemisphere. Therefore, convergence is west. Convergence west, true best. The true track will be 45 degrees more than the grid. 090 grid plus 45 degrees gives us a true track of 135. And finally, we'll arrive at B, which is longitude 70 east. Again, we are at east of the datum in the northern hemisphere, so convergence is west. Convergence west, true best. The true track will be 70 degrees more than the grid. 090 grid plus 70 degrees gives us a true track of 160. This all ties in with what you learnt about polar stereographic charts. The longitude has changed from 70 west to 70 east, which is a difference of 140 degrees. Therefore, the true track of any straight line must also change by 140 degrees. In this example, we have gone from 020 degrees true to 160 degrees true. The grid track, however, does not change. Here we have a North Polar stereographic projection. Therefore, the n factor is 1, and the chart convergence between any two meridians is simply equivalent to the change of longitude. We are going to work out the relationship between grid and true for each aircraft. Firstly, by inspection of the diagram and common sense, and then secondly, by use of the rules on convergence. Let's first make a point which will help you when you come to draw your own diagrams. It usually helps your thoughts to have grid north at the top of the page. In the northern hemisphere, this means having the datum meridian at the 6 o'clock position, because north is the direction that runs into the North Pole. Let's start by looking at aircraft number 1. Just by inspection of the diagram, you can see its grid heading is 360 grid, whilst the true heading is 270 true. Therefore, the true heading is 90 degrees less than the grid by simple visual inspection. Now work it out using convergence. If grid north is at the 12 o'clock position, then the datum meridian must be the Greenwich meridian. In other words, this is a standard grid. Aircraft 1 is at longitude 090 west, which means that the aircraft is west of the datum. If we're west of the datum in the northern hemisphere, convergence is east. Convergence east, true least. Therefore, true heading should be 90 degrees less than the grid, which it is. Both the convergence formula and the diagram give the same answer. Now try the same exercise for aircraft numbers 2 to 5. Do it both ways, firstly by visual inspection and then secondly by using the rules. Get a piece of paper and work out what goes in each of the blanks. When you're finished, click to continue to check your answers. Here are the answers. Now let's do it for the southern hemisphere. This is slightly more of a brain stretcher. To get grid north at the top of the page in the southern hemisphere, we need the datum meridian at the 12 o'clock position. In the southern hemisphere, north is the direction that runs out of the South Pole. You know what to do now. Just remember that convergence east and west are the other way round in the southern hemisphere. It's actually easier because you don't change the sign. Now try the same exercise in the southern hemisphere. Again, do it both ways, firstly by visual inspection and then secondly by using the rules. Get a piece of paper and work out what goes in each of the blanks. When you're finished, click to continue to check your answers. Here are the answers. Now we'll try some problems of the sort that you might meet in an exam. In these kinds of problem, there are 4 factors. These are the datum longitude, the aircraft longitude, grid track, true track. The question will normally give you 3 of them and you have to find the 4th. This one is for a polar stereographic chart. The aircraft position is 45 north, 110 west. The grid track is 132. The datum is at 60 west. What is the true track? We'll start by working it out using the rules. Is the aircraft east or west of the datum meridian? The aircraft is at 110 west. The datum is 60 west. The aircraft is therefore 50 degrees west of the datum. Is that east or west convergence? We're in the northern hemisphere. It must be easterly convergence. With a polar stereographic chart, little n is 1. 50 degrees of change of longitude is 50 degrees of convergence. So, the convergence is 50 east. Convergence east, true least. So what is the true track? A grid track of 132 minus 50 gives a true track of 082. We recommend that you simply apply the rules, as we have just shown. However, we will give you the diagram solution as well, so you can envisage the situation. Firstly, plot the aircraft position of 45 north, 110 west. We are looking down on the Earth from above the North Pole. This is 110 west. Try to estimate the longitude reasonably accurately. The latitude doesn't matter on these diagrams. There is no latitude scale anyway. Draw in the datum meridian. This gives you the direction of grid north. Parallel grid north so that it passes through the aircraft position. Draw in a track of 132 grid. Now compare your grid track with your true north direction. You can see that it is about 082. With a diagram like this, you would be able to work out the correct solution from the given multiple choice answers. This one is similar. As before, you are given 3 of the factors and you have to find the 4th. Again, we are using a polar stereographic chart. The aircraft position is at 28 south, 118 east. The true track is 042 and the grid track is 133. What is the datum meridian? What is the convergence? Grid track is 133. True track is 042. That's a difference of 91 degrees. True is least, so the convergence is 91 east. Is the aircraft east or west of the datum? We're in the southern hemisphere. With easterly convergence, the aircraft must be east of the datum. If the aircraft is 91 degrees east of the datum and the aircraft is at longitude 118 degrees east, where is the datum? The datum longitude is 027 east. Again, we recommend that you apply the rules, as just shown. It's usually simpler. However, here is the diagram. The aircraft is at 118 east. True north is the direction away from the South Pole. Plot a track of 042 true from the aircraft. The grid track is 133. This gives you the direction of the grid. Parallel the grid through the South Pole. This gives you the datum meridian. Now we'll do one using a Lambert's chart. The only difference to remember is that chart convergence is no longer simply change of longitude between the aircraft and the datum. You have to multiply the change of longitude by the sign of the parallel of origin of the chart. The aircraft position is 50 south, 178 east. The parallel of origin is 56 south, and its sign is 0.82. The grid track is 192 and the true track is 211. What is the datum meridian? So, we need to find the change of longitude between the aircraft position, which we know, and the datum, which we don't. So, the first question is, what is the convergence? It's the difference between grid and true track. In this case, it is 19 degrees, and it must be west, because true is the bigger number. What change of longitude does this represent? The change of longitude, multiplied by 0.82, gives us 19 degrees. Divide 19 by 0.82 to get 23 degrees longitude change. Which way? Back to the usual diagram. The convergence is west, so the aircraft must be west of the datum. This means that the datum is east of the aircraft. The aircraft meridian is 178 east. The datum must be another 23 degrees east. This comes to longitude 201 east. Take it away from 360 to get 159 west. Here's the diagram solution. Again, you'll probably find applying the rules easier. Plot the aircraft position at 50 south, 178 east. This gives us true north. Draw a true track of 211. The grid track is 192, so we can plot grid north. And you can either parallel the dotted line to get the datum, or use the fact that there are 23 degrees of longitude between the aircraft and the datum. Some questions may provide you with a grid chart as an annex. In this case, you may be expected to solve them by plotting, not calculation. Here is an example. Assume a North Polar stereographic chart whose grid is aligned with the Greenwich meridian. An aircraft then flies from the North Geographic Pole for a distance of 480 nautical miles along the 110 degrees east meridian, then follows a grid track of 154 degrees for a distance of 300 nautical miles. What is the aircraft's final position? The possible answers were 78:45 north, 87 east, 80 north, 80 east, 79:15 north, 74 east, and 70:15 north, 80 east. This one is most easily solved simply by drawing it out. Any calculation would be complicated and time-consuming. Using the scale given on the chart, first draw a line 480 nautical miles long out from the North Pole along the 110 east meridian. Using a protractor against grid north, plot in a track of 154 for a distance of 300 nautical miles. Then, by inspection of the four answers, only one could possibly be correct. All that the examiner is trying to establish is that you realize that grid north is the same direction all over the chart. Let's summarize this lesson. It is the third of 3 lessons on grid navigation. We started by reminding ourselves about convergence. We looked at a polar grid chart and a route which involved a large change of longitude in a short distance. As we travelled along the track, the true track changed from 020 to 160. But the grid track remained 090. At every stage, the difference was the amount of convergence, which was directly related to the change of longitude between the aircraft and the datum. We did a practical exercise on relating aircraft longitude and datum to convergence, true and grid, and we noted that in the northern hemisphere it is helpful to draw the datum meridian at the 6 o'clock position, because north is the direction that runs into the North Pole. However, in the southern hemisphere we need the datum meridian at the 12 o'clock position, because north is the direction that runs out of the South Pole. We then looked at typical exam questions. In most of them, there are 4 factors: the datum longitude, the aircraft longitude, the grid track, and the true track. The question will normally give you 3 of them, and you have to find the 4th. The best way to solve most of these is simply to apply the rules. Don't forget that, if it's a Lambert's chart, you have to apply the sign of the parallel of origin to obtain the convergence from the change of longitude. A diagram may help you to visualize the situation and aid your understanding. Some problems require a graphical solution. And remember, always, that a straight line track cannot change grid direction. This concludes the lessons on grid navigation. Whilst many modern airliners with flight management systems can cope with polar routes without the need for a grid, it is still necessary in older aircraft for high-latitude flying.